Okay, so like I said, that was a military operation. Okay, so that's the state of your country here and your safety. So, well, it's almighty, so we're just all waiting for God to put them to rest. So I sort of got it at the email, which may not even be real, from Eversource. Okay. And then it was a flow of just this horrifying rage, just horrifying rage. And then the second that they shut off the Twitter, that went away. Okay. So that's a containment because what they want to do is murder me, and God's not allowing them to. So, an entire military operation to shut off a Twitter account. Okay. That's why the man was talking about social media is evil. It's repeated over and over again. So you can rest assured that anyone sane that's saying anything sane is not online. Right. If you're just on there and talking nonsense or talking in their language, they don't shut you off. Okay. If you're upsetting their delusion reality they made up for themselves, they shut you off. So, probably you won't hear anything about this business anymore because I knew that it was bizarre and I don't believe it to be real. Okay, so that's intended, like the man himself, to just get these random reactions and then they shut you off of social media because they're profoundly mentally insane. Okay. And that's how God is containing them. So the money will continue to be printed, the fuel will continue to be given and burnt. There's no safe zone on the land piece. No one's getting freed. People are getting increases in pay to pay their bills. People aren't getting any more free housing vouchers. They're not getting their taxes, their land taxes taken away. They're not freeing themselves while holding hostages and shutting people offline. They can't be freed. Okay, so there's not a way for the population to survive without fuel because they don't walk anywhere. And any plans that were made to try to deal with that were purposely destroyed by them themselves. They're not allowed to think anything that would actually save themselves. Like they're in a Confucius, they're in the Great Delusion. Well, if they weren't allowed to just shut off the Twitter, they would want to come and actually murder me. Okay, so that's why that becomes all encompassing and important. That means something when you're completely profoundly insane. Okay, it means something to I don't get my meal delivered, I don't get housing, I can't get a dental cleaning, right? People can't live in tents. You destroy credit, we can't buy something that has a meaning. Just like you can't use Facebook, you can't use Twitter. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. It's clearly that, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who just had all their social media shut off. That keeps them busy and not busy doing anything in any way that would save themselves. It's sort of like a psychosis, and it makes perfect sense to them because it makes sense to them. Okay. When to me, it would make sense to try to save yourself. That's just me. But it doesn't make sense to them. So I guess tomorrow or early Monday morning, I'll be going back to the city to live on the ground. Okay. So Um, to some degree, that should actually calm you down a little bit. Okay. I'm sure you got really upset at the walk yesterday, smiling, all that. Okay. So it's a profound morbid insanity. I lived with the person. Okay. Um, just everything about you, about me, angers you because you're mentally insane. I'm not doing anything to you, and you won't stop obsessing about me because you're mentally insane. And then I know you won't get it because I lived with someone, and then she just asks people how she's mentally insane. As I have to listen to her poor children suffer through it, going, "You're so sick," to her over and over again. So it's just when a brain is that insane, there's no thinking process to comprehend how you're insane. It's just all that people can do is go, there's really nothing else I can tell you other than you have profound, morbid mental insanity. So many of you are young and the body just keeps going. And I'm sure that's a living, breathing hell for you, other than God, I guess, making everything you do make sense. Okay, so that's God helping you. So it was explained to you in the post. Okay. If God is love and I'm clearly blessed by God, Virgin Mary, I'm in communion with the Almighty to be able to convey all of that information and prophecy. Um, I'm in a close relationship with Almighty God, and God is love, and you cannot stop hating me. What does that tell you about yourself? So to pass away and transition into a species that maybe can accept Almighty God's spirit and Almighty God's love, I would think that would be preferred for you. It's just that the fear of dying has completely overtaken your lives. You're in a constant state of panic about dying, and some of it's your ego. Um, right. So that's what's going on with you. It's clear cut. I'm not removing that post off of Twitter, and it wouldn't have mattered if I tweeted bats, birds. You would have went, "That's the word," because your rage was reaching the point where you're either gonna slaughter your own family wherever it is you're living, that happens, or you're gonna try to find me and kill me. Okay, so every time you think you would never do that, that's God containing you. That is why shutting off my Twitter account became so important to you, that you actually concocted the entire thing, all of you, about the housing lottery, not getting the housing, the electric bill, trying to get me to forward my mail after you already submitted to forward my mail because you're criminally insane. I saw it on DTA Connect. You forwarded my mail to some address in Weymouth, and then you try to make up an excuse for how that happened. It happened because I forwarded it to Orleans. It's 100% that. Okay. It's 100% that. You called me from a private number no one can call you back on. You have profound morbid mental insanity as a group. And you do work in conjunction like that, like the monkeys at the fig tree. That is what you do. So then you did this weird thing with some guy I commented on YouTube because he was an obnoxious douchebag. Okay. Ordering people to tell me, because I'm a homeless woman, to keep moving and go into a shelter and sit up in a chair all night until I die from a bowel obstruction. That is what he was saying. Okay. I never told anybody to kill anybody. It's Exodus 2013. You won't stop trying to murder a group of people because you have profound morbid mental insanity. So, uh, right, you go if you just had your Twitter shut off, just go, okay, well, there you go. You were about to show up and kill. They were about to show up and kill you. They were about to come and kill you. That is why shutting off Twitter accounts, shutting off Facebook is so important to them. They're in a containment. They have no brain matter left anymore. And it's a constant rage, and they're constantly distracted with all this weird stuff. You can't get a dental cleaning. Your well sense is on and off. Your mass health is on and off. You can't change your name, even though that's your federal name. You got married. All of it is a distraction. All of it forcing us out of our houses, taking our children. All of it. Can't have a tent. They're in a constant state of murderous rage as God is containing them, and they're all going to drop from cancer. Some of them will have a heart attack, a stroke, right? Cardiac arrest, a stroke, a brain aneurysm, bowel cancer, all of it. We're just waiting for them to drop. Okay, so just all of that. They run around doing these weird military type operations. They're on a TV. They're trying to get people enraged. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Okay, it's like watching people in Bellevue. Truly, they control the mass media. They control every word of knowledge that you think is going on is controlled by them. Okay, and that's pretty much all they've been doing for God, maybe a decade now. Maybe a decade now. Okay, so if you pay attention and you're online and you saw what I was doing and they're doing and you watch the TV, you would see that they go into these things where they try to draw attention to me in these weird ways, okay? And it's almost seems like it's a pretending like they're luring me in, and that's not what's going on. Okay. That's the remaining brain matter that would have any rationale. Okay. But then Almighty God will not allow them to do anything that would cause people to stop driving because you're a self-terminating species. They're in a desperation. So the desperation gets morphed and turned into an attack on me. That is what God makes your brain matter believe to do. I'm explaining it to you. Okay. Okay. So I have the given immunity. I've got Abram on the finger. I am the person. Okay. So if you hate me and you can't stop trying to kill me, you clearly are not staying here on planet Earth. You won't stop trying to push people. I'm the Virgin Mother. You keep trying to push me to the point of yelling and screaming when you know I have hypertension. You're trying to make everybody crazy and murderous. So God has to put you down. It's not a punishment. Okay? Your brain is beyond any repair. You've lost that much brain matter. Okay? It's not curable. So anyways, that's all that's going on. Um It's not exactly a civil war. It's sort of it's a containment that might appear to be a civil war, but there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just you variously attack certain people, and you're completely obsessed with attacking me. Completely and utterly obsessed with attacking me because you don't have any brain matter left. It's like a rabies in the head. I lived with someone that followed me room to room, screaming at me to the point that I had to leave. Just that is what happens. That person didn't have a plan to where she would take a fentanyl drink either. So that's highly unfortunate for you folks. That's it. That's all that's going on. That is all that's going on. You know, different than the man that attacked my husband with the hammer. He didn't work in a governmental office. He wasn't a police officer. He wasn't in the military. He didn't control social media. He didn't control mass media. He didn't control Eversource. He doesn't build apartment complexes. So he just went boom and hit him in the head with the hammer. You're being contained more because clearly you're quite dangerous. Okay. And as you know, the man didn't hit me in the head with the hammer. Okay. So That was a terrible, like, yeah, just to be trying to exist like that and refusing to take fentanyl. Um, I I can't pity you because you're so terrible. I really don't pity you. But I feel pretty confident that eventually your family members will convince you to do it. So, this was a nice break. Yeah, this definitely was a nice break. I should obviously be able to live stream, but I'm not removing that post. It's very, very important that post not get removed. Okay, so they may orchestrate a whole nother thing after a certain amount of time where I can just open up a different Twitter account because I'm absolutely not removing the post. So no countdown happens about 6 days. That has no meaning. Okay. It's just you need to read it. That's why I posted it. That post is not being removed. Okay. When you force a person to remove posts, it doesn't make it that post untrue. You're profoundly morbidly insane. Right, they just did a whole thing about free speech and then they themselves shut off my Twitter account. They're profoundly, morbidly insane. No computer hacker is shutting off my Twitter account. Okay? It's the same people that are running the mass media, controlling the social media. So it can be shocking how insane people can get. They could, when they had brain matter, they could never have cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay, as you can see, not possible. Murder their psychologist. You ever hear about people murdering the psychologist? They would do that. They would seek psychotherapy and then murder their psychologist. Most people just leave and fire their psychologist because they can't have cognitive behavioral therapy. They're too sick. I love this verifying you are a human. So they verify now if you're a human being. That profoundly insane. The brain matter, from what I can gather, is really not set up to have any thoughts that are not input for people. It's just not. Nothing's coming in from the Almighty, and there's no sort of creative thoughts going on. It's all from listening and observing other members. And then usually it gets all twisted up into, okay, just antichrist, just like mirroring back just derangement that you didn't even say. Like the brain there is not functioning even in a normal Neanderthal state. Yeah, I mean, at least Barbara Kent actually tried to copy what people were doing because she knew her brain was gone. She didn't know what to do with anything. So she tried to copy, observe and copy what you're doing. Where does the food go? Okay, so we go to the bathroom and take a shower. That's what normal sort of brain disease people would do because they know that their brain is going, so they need guidance as to what the she would sit there going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because there was nothing in the brain. Okay, so this is the post that's not getting removed. If God is love and God blessed me, God has an intimate relationship with me, and you hate me, what could that mean? You must self-terminate with the fuel burning so you can't actually be in communion with God. Okay? So these are the same people. They're not proving anything about free speech. Okay? These are the same people who are on a television telling you that this man could say whatever he wanted and no one had a right to shut him off. The same people. They have profound, morbid mental insanity and will never see when they contradict themselves. They themselves believe in shooting me dead because they don't like what I'm saying. And it's not even offensive, it's the truth. If you cared about anybody, why wouldn't you care about the pollution? Because you don't. The entire thing about a week ago, 5 days ago, and this is the other thing, is they keep doing this to avoid the conversation that any doctor or priest would have with them about it's time for the thing. You don't have any brain matter left. You don't make any sense. Okay. Right? You don't make any sense. You're in pain, this and that. It's time for this. Um, so they still have the ability to go on a TV, running around, shutting off Twitters, and won't listen to what's being said to them. Right. The discussion was getting people with dementia to stop working because they're harming people. Okay. So they're not going to have that. They're not going to have that. They're going to make up this. They're going to run around. That's all you see on a TV. Everyone's going to get distracted by it because you're not really listening to me either about what people are trying to do. Okay. It's not really you're avoiding truth, but you're getting distracted by them and you're feeding right into it. They're trying to distract away from the conversation about their dementia and to get people to stop working because they're harming people. That's why that's going on. That's why that's all that's on your TV. And we hope this is the end of a dark chapter and all this stuff. Don't you start to go, I don't understand what happened. What dark chapter were we in? Why did you utter those words? What dark chapter were we in that you hope by this man being killed that it's over? What is that? Right. And then you're talking about free speech, right? And then you shut off my Twitter account. So you're profoundly, morbidly, mentally insane. Yes. Yep. Yes, you are. Just a reminder, too. When the email came from Eversource, I knew what you were doing. Okay. It's been a couple of weeks and you're doing it frequently too. It's been a couple of weeks since the last time you shut off the Twitter and then you tried to do a military operation that you thought was going to save people or something. Like you're that insane. No one even listens to what I say but you because you're obsessed with me and I can only imagine that God's forcing you to do that because I'm like a psychologist that's explaining to you that you have dementia. Okay? You're criminally insane. You don't have to shut off a Twitter and then you do what you're doing like I'm a political opponent of yours. You're clearly mentally insane. So, God Almighty is interfering with what you're trying to do because what you're trying to do doesn't make any sense because you're mentally insane. That's why the people don't listen to you, not they're reading Mary Buchanan's Twitter account. And so you have to shut me off and then they'll listen to you. Right, babe?
Sure.
Why would my Twitter account have to be shut off? What am I doing that my Twitter account has to be shut off? If the guy's actually dead, okay, if he could speak from the grave, he would ask you why Mary Buchanan's Twitter account has to be off, but he can go on YouTube and say any caustic thing he wants because you're profoundly, morbidly, mentally insane. He's not giving ground orders to some military. He's not the cause of preventing the people from doing what you're trying to get them to do because you're mentally insane. For real. No one knows what you're trying to get people to do. They really don't. No one knows. No one can know because you're profoundly mentally insane. Didn't I say too? I went, oh my God, now they're going to start talking about free speech because we wanted to talk about dementia and how you know you have dementia. Get it? Okay, so we're not going to talk about mental reasoning. We're going to remove that off Wiki, and we're not going to talk about dementia. We are going to now talk about supposedly some guy that some people thought was a god apparently on earth. You just go, this is so bizarre. I don't even know what this is. I never heard of this person in my life. He's not recognizable to me. I don't know if you in your disease made up he had a previous and you're reliving it. I have no idea. Okay. But that it's just another madness like George Floyd. Okay. It's just another madness like George Floyd that caused a lot of problems as people remember. Okay. So all you're supposed to be doing is getting people that are criminally insane to stop working. Like saying you're getting an apartment and you're not, shutting off people's food, forwarding people's meal. All those things are like federal offenses that you have every authority to do something about. Okay. That's it. No one has any interest in talking about free speech again, and then you shut off all our free speech because you're mentally insane. Is there water in it, babe? I guess I'll have one more. Battery's already starting to get low. So as you probably gathered, I think I told you they shut off my Twitter account again, which I knew they were going to as soon as they sent that fucked up email. And because I didn't say any hate speech online, they couldn't shut it off. So then finally they just shut it off. I could have been on there talking about roses and puppies, and then they'd still shut it off. Doesn't matter what the fuck I say or don't say. So this is some sort of distraction God's got them in for some reason. If you were wondering, like, why does all this fucked up shit happening to you? These people are like lost their minds and they're murderously insane. So God has them fucking fixated on me. They're completely obsessed. And then as you can see, they don't really actually do anything to me. They're not hitting me in the head with the hammer. God stops them from doing that. All they do is this fucked up weird shit where they've essentially, quote unquote, destroyed my life, but they haven't been able to physically murder me yet. And then I go, "Are you still sane?" And then they just attack me even more because we went through this with my mother. She had to keep being sectioned because she wouldn't stop attacking me and stopping me from eating. And then when she'd get out of the hospital, she'd go on a mission to find out who betrayed her and sent her to the hospital. And it wasn't even me doing it, but she was, everything that happened, she blamed on me. She's that sick. Ugh.
Figure it out.
Oh, I thought that was for you. I didn't want to take it. Thank you, babe. I guess after this coffee, I'll take a shower. And then you should probably take a shower and then we'll do laundry. So the electricity will be on in my cabin, Royal Caribbean. Okay, excellent. So when you're so mentally insane that all this has happened to me, you're not going to allow me to buy a trailer anyway. I'm really not that dumb. Okay. God has to drop you dead before. My husband and I were just talking about it last night. Either we're going to pass on out of here or you're going to drop dead. That's all that's going to happen. Okay. None of that changes your extinction. You're still going to be burning fuel like there's no tomorrow. You're still going to be running around like crazy people until each one of you accepts your fucking diagnosis. That's all that's going to happen. Nothing changes when we pass on. Okay. But we are out of your clutches finally by the grace of Almighty God. That's all. So, there's electricity in the cabin. There's electricity at the Cambridge Public Library. Okay. Fantastic. And at Smith Center. Okay. If we are lucky enough to win a lottery for the shelter, there's electricity there. Okay. Never in a day, even if I had an 800 credit score, would you allow me to be able to just have housing because you're profoundly mentally insane. So, why that's a mission of yours, I explained it to you. You're profoundly mentally insane and you want to murder me, and Almighty God isn't allowing you to. So he's extincting you. None of your DNA has my species in it. You have no immunity to survive cancer. None. Okay. You had a major nuclear accident in 2011. There's cancer everywhere. As you know, people with the bleeding in the brain, these echemechic strokes where your brain is sealed, a vessel is sealed that can't be unsealed, and the brain dies around it. It's your extinction. And it's very sad as a people that you're choosing to go out in the fashion that you are. There used to be an honor, and then when you were losing your mind, you took a fentanyl drink. You didn't keep running around doing all this whacked out stuff. So it's very unfortunate for you, not me. You attacked me in my house, so clearly there was never going to be any trailer. But it put you in a frenzy of behavior that distracted you for another week. Obviously, Social Security knows what you're doing, and so does the DTA office, and so does my lawyer. Okay. So forwarding my mail around isn't working anymore, other than it's just more stacking up federal offenses, but yet you're sane still. Meaningless. Right. You'll get me pissed off for a week. You are a detriment to my health and my mental health, and God still kills you. So it's called Anti-Eve instead of New Year's Eve. So anyway, that's still going on. With all your efforts, other people are not as insane as you, and they really have no interest in me and destroying me at every fucking turn. Okay? They're not being forced to focus and obsess on me because I'm the person who keeps pointing out to you how sick you are and that you need to take your fucking fentanyl drinks. Unfortunately, clearly, some of you are still using methamphetamine. I can tell. There's just certain behaviors and things that you do that you're clearly still taking it. You're just so sick. You think you can think. You're Superman. You're making up all these military operations that have no meaning because you're mentally insane. Right. Again, if you're in the public, I know it seems weird. Okay. But then you've got to try to explain everything that just happened. And usually you won't listen to me because I think you know what I'm saying is true and it scares you, and that's fine. And then you don't listen to me anymore. Okay. You'd have to explain everything that just happened with the apartment and the email and the Twitter account. Okay. And just why did the guy start talking about social media? That they've got to get rid of social media. That's what he actually believes because he's mentally insane. They're so insane, just so you know, because they do it with Twitter. They just do it with Twitter. I explained it to you. All you people that just got banned and got strikes against you and stuff, they do it to you on purpose. They're profoundly mentally insane. Because they want to kill people and God's not letting them. So if they say to you this something, oh my God, in free speech, right? And then you post something about it's terrible that this happened and they shouldn't have done this to this guy, they will fucking shut you off when you agree with them. They have profound, morbid mental insanity. Like smoking mad meth, sitting at a computer going boop, 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 boop. Like it's a video game. That's all God allows them to do is we wait for them to finally be put down. They go on a TV. They talk the weird stuff. Right. that guy saying that stuff like that, and then you're supposed to say something, and then he charges you with hate speech. That's all that person was doing, and now you're acting like he was a fucking god on earth. You're so insane. You don't care about free speech. He should have said anything no one had a right to, and then you want people shut off. That's mental insanity. And just these people that keep making up that they're teaching people about free speech, that's not what you're doing. You have morbid mental insanity. I have every right to tell you, that's my job, that you have dementia. Yes. First of all, I'm reporting a federal crime that just occurred. It didn't happen in 2011. And do I still have the emails? I still have the email. Yes. I still have the email. Yep. I'm sure I still have on my phone that I called Eversource the day after that insane woman named Catherine called me on a private number to tell me I wasn't getting the apartment after they had me set up the account. I called Eversource within 5 minutes of getting off the phone with that deranged animal. And it's all automated. That's not an excuse. You're going to go, oh, it's a glitch. It's not a glitch in your automated system. Dementia patients that are criminally deranged. Thank you. Try to hide behind. That's the same thing they do with that Penrose fair at Penrose. They will not answer the telephone. Have nothing to do with them. And they've apparently built, because they have so much money, several properties. Okay, just like the guy that owned the bar and they told you on the news, not it's paranoid, and he set up cameras and he'd do weird shit to his own employees and they put him in fucking jail. Okay, same thing. Build an apartment complex. They probably have fucking cameras in there too. Say you have a lottery, do fucked up psychopathic thing to homeless people and go, ah, ha, ha, ha. Now you're paying our electric bill. Now your credit's bad. Oh, we don't know. We don't know. It's the AI and there's all these other people working and they're fucking deranged. Just keep giving them money. That's what some of them are doing with it. So anybody that I know is not going to do any of those housing lotteries again. We're done with it. So you're not finding another way to lure Holocaust victims into your fucked up derangement. Just know that. Okay. And then you think that's funny because you're the children of Lot and you have perverse insanity. So it's funny to you to terrorize God's chosen people and call it a lottery when you're the children of Lot and God's extincting you. I can only live stream so long through the battery, hon. As long as I shower and do the laundry, that's all I have to do today. And I guess pack up my shit. That'll take me all of about 3 hours. And I got a whole day to do it. Today's only Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a whole entire day to do it, so I'm not going to stress about it. Have one more cup of coffee and take a shower. Hey, babe. Yep. Don't stress. I talked to her. Everything's set up, so you don't have to worry about that. So, anyways, like I was discussing, I'm not even really sure. Some of this stuff has to do with my looks, to be honest with you. Um, right. That's a different set of animals that do that. Okay. That's a different set of animals. These people are being prevented from saving themselves and their own families. Okay. So they're just wildly insane. It's difficult to observe. Vaccines, face masks, vaccines, face masks, vaccines, face masks. Okay. Until God destroys enough of their brain matter that they finally stop that type of a struggle. You're not being allowed to save yourselves. You're a self terminating species. The age ended. It's the end of your time on planet Earth. You were told an exact transition plan to follow that could have maybe saved a small population of your people. And you chose instead that you were going to do weird stuff and takeaways with me. It's over, done. You can't control your own thoughts as your brain matter is being reduced. It's almighty. All you're supposed to be doing is maintaining peace. You keep electricity on, you keep water flowing, you keep fuel flowing, you keep public transportation going. Okay? That's all you're supposed to be doing. Okay. You're not supposed to be setting up housing lotteries, and that's funny. And you lure homeless people because you still envy people. Those are the people that envy you. Okay. Doing that fucked up shit. And then you're going to destroy our credit. Like that makes sense to you. Just in case we get approved for Social Security or we win the lottery, something. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm not sure my bank gives a fuck about my credit. Okay. I'm not sure my bank gives a fuck about my credit. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. So I guess you'd have to get to work on destroying my husband's fucking credit because that's all you're doing with Eversource. You're completely profoundly insane. So that I can't get a fucking electric turned on when I don't even have housing. You're that fucking mentally insane, but you're worried that I might. You're worried that I might. You're not getting your electric bills forgiven. You need to apply for RAFT. That's what RAFT is. Okay? I disagree about some people deserve to die. I mentioned that before. Okay? Walk a mile in my shoes and then tell me some people don't deserve to die. Why is Almighty God killing them then if they don't deserve to die? Okay. Don't wait for it. Nope, don't wait for it. I thought you said it was us. It's the pollution. Pointless. There's not enough brain matter left for them to even get angry like Barbara Kent used to. Yeah, there isn't even enough brain matter for them to even understand that to get mad. That's God doing it so that they don't get mad. That doesn't make any sense to them. So you are doing it. You are murdering people. Right? Their brain can't even figure that out to go and get pissed and refuse to answer you, just start yelling at you. She could figure out when you were doing shit like that. You can't. Had she stayed in therapy, she might have been able to have cognitive behavioral therapy before her brain was destroyed. That's why she got mad because she knew what you were doing. These people flipped out and shut off my fucking Twitter account because they believe in free speech and the guy shouldn't have been killed for talking. They don't hear anything that God's saying, clearly. You're a self-terminating species is not hate speech. It's called the truth. Nothing in those words is hateful. Are you self-terminating? Are you a species? Just go on there and go, the sky is blue, and then shut off a fucking Twitter because they said the sky was blue and say it's hate speech. I don't even know if it says hate speech. I didn't even look at it. I don't give a fuck what it says. You're not verifying if I'm a human. You're not trying to verify my identity and then refuse to give me the Emergency Americans Money fucking Act that I could have lived on for a year, clearly. How much have I spent in a year? It was $3,200. I probably could have lived 2 years on that. And you know it. Some of these trailers are $500 fucking dollars. Right. You know I could have lived on that shit for at least a year. That's why you didn't give it to me, and God's killing you. God's kill. Let's play a game where we can see how many times Mary will say God's killing us. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Attack people and then accuse me of being obsessed with you when I don't even know who the fuck you are. Right. That's another mental illness I observed in the shelter, where you make up that people are talking about you when they're not. Or you do fucked up shit that causes people to talk about you, and then you run around going, these people have no lives but to talk about me because you're fucking deranged. That person is diagnosed with schizophrenia, by the way. If you do stuff like that, you might be schizophrenic. It's just a behavior I observed. She has schizophrenia. She's on Social Security and she takes medication for schizophrenia. I would say the obsession with me and the intense rage wrath, like you have to do something negative to me, is you have very little brain matter and you need to take fentanyl and die. And like I said, I would have to guess it's being fueled by methamphetamine. So maybe back in the day before Exodus 2013, if I had a rifle, you'd come charging at me so I could put you down. Yeah, that's not going on right now. So it's up to you and your family to hand you a fentanyl drink when you're that sick. Like it, say that all of a sudden my husband started talking about the same person. Okay. It might start out like regular where you go, oh my God, this guy or this chick or whatever, and this I don't like about them or something. But say that he wouldn't stop talking about it. Okay. And like everywhere we went, he was doing that. I'd have to take him to the hospital. Okay. Because for some reason, these people, I don't know who they talk to in their lives. Okay. Where I'm not I'm a little bit concerned about the fact of how much you dislike this Mary person. I'm a little bit concerned about it. Okay, like the guy with the hammer. He's dangerous to me. He's telling friends of mine that I'm crazy. Like he's still talking about me and I don't even know him. And now I'm crazy. Okay. So he's got an obsession going on that could be related to me and has nothing to do with my husband. So, yeah, just certain little things where you go, okay, like say that after I saw the video of this person who said the fucked up shit about homeless people go and sit up in a chair all night, right? Say that I don't even think I told my husband about it. You go, what the fuck's this? You leave one sentence on YouTube, right? And then it goes out of your head. I mean, I have to listen to deranged people every fucking day of my life. So say that I couldn't stop talking about him, and I started, and this is why I didn't even know his name. Say I started finding out who he was, looking up his videos, watching them. Get it? Okay, like you're reporting stuff to a court 5 years after I punched you in the face because you're sick. That's why. You're sick. That's why. Okay. So stuff like that, people understand that that woman is sick and dangerous to me. People understand that. Okay. So sometimes people around you have to go, okay, what is this? Okay, so who's this person? All right. And then they watch the stuff and they go, I'm not understanding though, like, why don't you just ignore her and stop watching her videos? Why are you reading her Twitter, reading her Facebook, watching her videos? Okay. That's what makes a person sick. Right. You go, okay, so she punched you in the face. Okay. In 2019. All right. And she's homeless and at the time had no income. She's homeless. Okay. Because you foreclosed the house she was living in and then evicted her. Okay. Does she ever when she's talking about all this, does she know who you are? Okay, she doesn't even know who you are. So what is it that you want a court to do? Okay, well they just did it. And on October 16th it ends. So I hope to God that you finally, okay, stopped looking me up online and finding out what I'm doing in my life. I hope to God that you finally stop doing that. Because I would hope that your coworkers and your family would have you institutionalized if you haven't. And that you're never anywhere I am. Ever. Because you clearly know my name. You know what I look like. I don't know you. I don't know your name. And I don't know what you look like. I did not know. I know your first name. I don't know your last name. I don't know the name of your company you work for. When I went to court, they told me your first name. Okay. And I think they mentioned the mortgage company that you work for. I didn't know that. Okay. So the fact that you would know anything about me, what I'm doing, or what I look like is very concerning as to you're dangerous to me. Just as an FYI. Ask a doctor. Don't just listen to the voices in your own head. I can't fathom anyone that is handcuffed and forced to be destitute and homeless for 6 years because you attacked me and in self-defense I punched you in the face. That you would even keep paying attention to it is weird, I guess. Right? You just go, "Oh, that like here's an example. A man attempted to murder my husband. What are we doing about it? Nothing. Okay. And it's only been since June 24th. But yet, I returned from a camping trip to find out he is still talking about me to other people when I have nothing to do with this event that occurred. A complete stranger to me. Get what I'm saying? Okay, so you got a lot of sick people, and what to do about them becomes obviously a hassle. It isn't helpful, and I've noticed that people go out of their way not to tell these people they're sick. That's not helping. That's not helping their potential victims. The man needs to be told he's mentally ill by someone. Okay. Um, Again, you see a couple that's a stranger to you. We don't know your name. Just because other people knew your first name that know us doesn't mean we knew you. Okay. We don't hang out with you. We don't hang out outside there. That's part of the reason. Okay. We were in a warming center. Okay. And then we weren't hanging out at the shelter at Harvard. We weren't getting food there. We took showers there. We didn't even know you could get food there. Okay. We weren't hanging out there. I never even saw you with the showers. Okay. Wherever it was you met these people that know us, we don't know you. Okay. The only conversation, if you call it a conversation, I recall having with this person was me being walked to my shelter by my husband during the summer when it was open for 8 weeks and I was there for 6 weeks. He's sitting on the steps. He's not staying there. Okay. The presumption is he's there to get food. Okay. Why are you talking to us? Then you find out about the mental insanity. Because that's a weird question. Why are you talking to us at all? That's a weird question. Boom, mentally ill. Problem. He says, asks if I'm in the shelter and goes, oh, I've been trying to get in there for 2 years. And right off the bat, I knew he was a problem. He says another weird thing to my husband and asks him if he cried because I went in the shelter and he's outside. It takes, when someone is severely mentally ill, it really doesn't take long to boom, boom, just like that. The antenna goes up. This person is wacko. Those 2 sentences. We don't know his name. He somehow knows at least my husband's name. My hand to God. Okay. So after this attack happens, I'm told by the police I'm getting a police report. I go to get one. I'm told I'm not getting one. Again, wacko. I get what's called an arrest report. She's got to redact names or something. Again, mentally ill. So I see the guy's name. Doesn't register anything in my head. Okay. As to this fucking person. Okay. He shows up the day I'm leaving the shelter to pick up my husband from a month in a fucking hospital from him attempting to murder him, given a brain injury, and starts verbally attacking me. He slept outside of my shelter waiting for me. They don't get food at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning. It starts at 8 after we're gone because they're not supposed to be harassing us and they won't stop fucking doing it. They're showing up there to harass the people in the shelter. That is what they're doing. And they attack other people that are waiting to get food too because they don't have any brain matter left. He says, oh, is Brian your boyfriend? No, Brian's my husband. And then tells me he's the one who did it. And then I go, like, seriously, you're sleeping out here fucking waiting for me? I just go, I'm not talking to you. What is this? You're insane. Well, how are you not in jail? And then he starts trying to tell me some bullshit story about my husband pulled the knife on him and stuff. Honestly, I don't fucking care. Okay. I don't fucking care. Okay. Why are you fucking laying in wait here for me? The police are called after me and my friend are screaming and screaming, and no one will call the fucking cops because this is normal. They're so mentally ill. This is normal. It will be normal up to the moment this guy fucking kills me, rapes me and kills me. It will still be fucking normal. So anyways, the police show up and say I can't get a restraining order based on that. No one on earth is supposed to do anything about that. It's pretty fucking naive. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Because clearly, Almighty God will fucking do something about it. When you're so fucking sick that you get off on innocent fucking people being hounded and harassed and raped and fucking beaten by these things, clearly God's going to kill you all, whether that's hate speech or not. He knows you know. He knows why you're not doing anything about it. Not you're going in a social distance and God doesn't know. Your brain is that fucking sick. God knows everything. Gotta charge the battery. So anyway, for those who get off on changing my mood and hum around swinging your fucking ass like Barbara Kent, there you go. You get your 5 minutes of sexual arousal, and then you'll be right back to being in the depths of hell of depression and anger and rage. Right, because it's already like as soon as the Twitter got shut off, I could tell that you calmed down. And then you just go, all right, well, they're not going to show up here and hit me in the head with the hammer today. So, there isn't a reason. It's called a mentally insane group of people, just like a serial killer. There isn't a reason. It's like they're presenting, and you folks won't do anything about it. God's going to do something about it.